So the question I get the most is something along the lines of this: how do I stop thinking about blank, or how do I think more like this? Managing my thoughts is something I've dealt with for years, but after reading over 80 self-help books, cognitive behavioural therapy and exploring an obsession with philosophy, I discovered something. The way to break negative thinking isn't found in an answer, it's actually all in the question. So in this short video, I'm going to explain exactly how I manage negative and dark thoughts to work towards a life of mental freedom and clarity. So I'll read out a question I got on TikTok. It's multi-layered, but this particular part of it is a good starting point. And it's how to get rid of sexist opinions unconsciously. So this person gets sexist thoughts and he wants to stop them. The first issue here is with the phrasing. He says, and I'm assuming it's a he, but I'm pretty sure it is, how to get rid. Notice how he wants to completely eradicate his thoughts. Have you ever heard of the game where if you think of the game, then you lose? So you could try it right now. Notice that it's literally impossible. If someone says to you, don't think of a penguin, the first thing you're going to think of is a penguin. The more you try not to think of something, the more likely that you'll actually think it. The more you try to resist your negative or dark thoughts, the more often they'll pop up. So immediately I can see why this person is struggling so much with negative thinking, because he's trying so hard not to think. This is the pattern. So you get the negative thoughts, you feel guilty for your negative thoughts, you try not to think of your thoughts, and this makes you think more negative thoughts. So anxiety is just resistance to what is beyond your control, and trying not to think certain thoughts is resistance by definition. Now you might argue that your thoughts aren't beyond your control. I could choose right now to think of Chelsea winning the Champions League, so that's what I'll be thinking about, and that's what I'm thinking right now. But most of our thoughts are not within our control. They are subconscious and they happen before we have time to even comprehend them. In fact, studies have shown that we actually make decisions before we're consciously aware of them. So that idea actually blew free will out into the open. Like, does free will actually exist? The truth is, we can't control most of our thoughts. Think about how hard it was to not think of a penguin. So you might think that maybe we can't control our thoughts in the present moment, but it's our actions in the past that influence them, and you'd be right. But it's not just our actions in the past, it's also our ancestors' actions and our childhood, where we were so impressionable, like a sponge picking up everything around us. I mean, humans have been around for 2.5 million years, and intelligent humans, as we know them, have been around for 70,000 years. So that time when we were hunting and gathering and trying to survive, that was just so much greater than our comfortable life today, in terms of it was a longer time period. So think about it, we all probably came from the alpha males in the tribes. I don't have any evidence to suggest that, but I think it's a fair assumption because they're the ones that mate the most. So in these tribes, the alpha would be able to rape and kill and do whatever they want to the females. That was way before people debated what proper office flirting looked like. Going back to the example, of course we're going to have like sexist thoughts appear when we have millions of years of evolutionary wiring inside of us. So we know we can't stop these thoughts, so how do we manage them? Well, by noticing them, accepting them, and disidentifying with them, realizing that they're beyond our control and they're not who we are. They're just from evolutionary patterns of behavior and our childhood repressed memories. They're not who we are right here, right now. They're just chemicals in our brain. So the pattern now becomes this: you get negative thoughts, you accept those thoughts and disidentify with them. They slowly appear less and less, but they'll never completely go, because that's our evolutionary wiring. So using the sexist thoughts example, you get one appear. You simply say, oh, look at that, you notice it, and then you remind yourself that it isn't who you are, it's just a product of evolution and your childhood impressions. It doesn't represent you, and you move on. You're not thinking, oh, please don't let me think this, please don't let me think this. No, you just move on. You don't resist, you don't judge, you simply notice it and you let it pass through you. Thank you so much for watching. If you took any value at all from this video, I'd really appreciate if you could hit the like button and keep asking me questions. I mainly get them on TikTok because I'm absolutely tiny on here, but I love hearing your questions and it gives me inspiration for my own videos. So I post weekly videos on building discipline and an unbreakable mindset. If you're interested in improving your life, then hit the subscribe button and join the community. I've also released a free playbook for getting your life together. It takes you through the step-by-step process that I use for going from anxious and lazy to fulfilled and productive. It's completely free and the first link in the description. Again, I really appreciate your time and you watching this to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.